Hello everyone, this is Callen Stauffer and I'm going to show you my final project for Alice programming. I worked on this project by myself. Alrighty, so the story is from Matthew 14:22 through 36. Do you have a guess? I'm going to play pretend and say no I do not. Alright, so I'm going to use my mouse and I'm going to drag it back to have a different camera movement. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the space bar and you'll see what happens. I'm going to press it 2 times. And there's Jesus. I'm going to use my arrow key to put him towards the camera. I'm going to slide you forward a bit. Alright, now we're going to have Peter walking on the water. Little splash sound. So he's walking towards Jesus and he starts to doubt and sink. And of course Jesus is going to turn to save him. Awesome. Now they're both going to return to the boat. Great. How many disciples walked on the water? If you remember, it was just one. Jesus is not considered a disciple. How many disciples stayed in the boat? That was 2 over on the other side of the boat. Now the disciples all turn to worship Jesus. I'm going to do a little bit of zoom in so you can see them better. Awesome. I'm going to show you my coding a little bit. So my array was right in the beginning. It's the disciples array with Peter, disciple 1 and disciple 2. This was just a little bit of movement I gave them in the beginning to make it look natural. There we go. And then my new procedure and method, I made a couple, but here's the main one, is the birds flying. I had the birds flying in the background the entire time, which I can also show you the loop with that. Here's the loop right here, and I had that loop during every single procedure, so the birds were always flying, as you can see. And then for my event listeners, I had 3, so moving the arrow keys, that moved to Jesus, so that's when I had Jesus orient to the camera. And then for the mouse, I use that to move and orient the camera 3 times, which also fulfills my 3 camera movements. And then for the sound, I obviously had Peter make a splash sound when he jumped into the water, which I can show you. It's all the way right there. And then for math, of course, Jesus calculated the amount of disciples that we had in the picture. And for my if-else, that was just in the beginning when Peter asked if you had an idea of what the story was about. If you said yes, then he said, let's continue on. And if you said no, he said, watch closely so you don't miss anything. And of course, I have my non-trivial scenery with the really cool cloudy sky and the island and everything. For my variables and parameters, I had plenty of those. And then for proximity at the end, I had Jesus walking towards Peter and vice versa. So there you go. I hope you enjoy.